My favorite sidearm breachlight is about to get sunset, and boy, do I have words about it. And I like it. Look, I'll be honest, I really don't like sunsetting, but I also kind of don't hate it.
Fanboy much?
Hey, why don't you calm down there, bud, okay? Let me explain. Recently, Iron Banner came back.
Yeah, like 3 weeks ago.
Recently, Iron Banner came back, and all that old gear that I hated dealing with was just gone. It was just so much more enjoyable. I mean, of course, Fellrunner Sniper was in the game, but after a couple more seasons, it won't be. Iron Banner compared to Base Crucible was more fun. I started to understand sunsetting. I started to even like it. But then Iron Banner went away and I remember why I hated it so much. It's just so aggressive. It doesn't just affect a small number of things, it just digs its claws into everything. Like, everything is fine in moderation, right? But Destiny didn't just take a little bit of sunsetting. It took way too much and is now in critical condition in the intensive care unit. So why can't it just affect a little bit of the game? I said, why can't it just affect...
How could they do that?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I have the solution right here. Playlist modifiers. Imagine this. Instead of sunsetting hitting everything across the board, it's only a modifier in certain playlists like contest, match game, grounded, etc., etc. Those last ones aren't modifiers. But we'd make a new modifier named, wait for it, sunset.
Of course.
And it states, any gear labeled sunset can't be used in this activity. So if you have a piece of gear that has been sunset, you can't launch the activity, and you can't equip it once you're inside of that activity. Any gear a year or older, with exception, will be labeled sunset, which will state, this item has grown old and will no longer be able to assist you in challenging battles.
That sounds great and all, but where would these modifiers apply?
Well, it would apply to the things that actually need sunsetting. You know, things like Iron Banner, Trials, Master to Grandmaster Nightfalls, and the Day 1 raids. Why did I pick these? Well, thank you for asking.
I didn't ask you anything.
First,
Okay.
is these things only affect the players who in all reasoning should already have non-sunset gear ready to go if they're going to engage with those activities. I know including Iron Banner kind of contradicts that statement, but come on. Please don't make me go back. I'm begging you. Second, it allows these things to have an ever-evolving meta that isn't determined by, oh, I overbuffed or overnerfed this thing. And third, this helps the scenario of someone watching a streamer and going, hey, what are you using? And the response being, oh, it's something you can't get anymore.
But then that just brings up the topic of reissued gear.
Yes, I am aware. However, that's not only a lot to talk about, that topic exists outside of sunsetting as well, and I don't want to derail this video any more than I'm doing just by acknowledging your stupid little face.
Well, that was kind of hurtful.
Back to the point. This system is good for both Bungie and the player base, and I believe is an excellent compromise for both sides. It doesn't hurt new or casual players and solves the problem of weapons that live forever without affecting the entire rest of the sandbox.
What about pinnacle weapons? This means they get to come back, doesn't it?
Yes, I know, and I know exactly what we can do with them. Just leave them alone. Raids after day 1 aren't really that hard anyways, so why police what people use in them? It doesn't really matter. I mean, if it's such a big deal, then just make them banned weapons. Just make them weapons that can only be used in Patrol, Valor Crucible, and like Heroic Strikes, if it's that big a deal. Making Sunset a modifier restricts the things where sunsetting needs to be in, without restricting the rest of the sandbox. And as an added bonus, you can add a new difficulty to raids that include contest and the sunset modifiers that can make your raid spoils of conquest in loot. You know, the thing people have been asking for. I genuinely believe that this is a better system than what we have now and is an excellent compromise to both sides. It's not overbearing enough to where it would feel like any weapon you get would become useless within a year's time, and gets rid of those problematic pieces of gear out of the sandbox for those playlists that it would affect the most. And most people wouldn't even notice this implementation in anyways. It would just kind of be there for the people who play the game a lot. And I mean a lot, like sweatical levels a lot. But hey, that's just my take. And if you enjoyed or agreed with anything I said, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz. And as always, stay cool.
Didn't you already make this video?
Yeah, but what I thought I would do is I'd take a note from Bungie and I'd take that old video and spruce it up a little bit and then reissue it, you know? I guess if I unlisted it, I could also say that I'm taking it out of the Andal content vault. Huh?
There is just so much shade being thrown right now.
Pretty easy to see why I play Shadebinder so much, huh?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!